Hi guys, my name is Abib. Welcome to the channel. In this video, we'll be talking about the data structure in Solidity. So I've explained, I've walked you through the Remix IDE and how we can use it, how we can use it to compile our smart contracts and to deploy our smart contracts onto the blockchain. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about variable. We're going to be focusing more on variable and talked about variable. Then in the subsequent video, we're taking the other data structures one after the other. So we're talking about variable, and the solidity is just like a container that store or holds value. So we have three types of variable. We have the state variable, we have the local variable, and we have the global variable in Solidity. So let's look at how do we declare a state variable. As I said, a variable is a container, or let's say, a container that holds value, or let's say stores value. For example, we have your int, public, then my number, for example. So here, this is how we declare our state variable. We're gonna define the data, the types of data we want to store, and the visibility of the data, and the variable name for our variable. So let's see. Well, this is exactly how we can declare our variable. So let's see what we're gonna have if so with this we create a smart contract and we can compile. Then this is how to deploy it. Once I've deployed it, though I'm not deploying it on blockchain, I'm deploying it on Remix VM for now, Remix virtual machine for now. Let me quickly take this out here. So if I come here, then you're gonna see the variable we declare. This is a state variable that we've declared. So if I click on it, the initial value we'll be having for our state variable that we're having here is what, 0. So we can, because we're not storing anything. So if we want to store any number there, we can just use let's say 23, for example. So if you use this, we store 23 in this variable. So if I could delete this and compile again, that you compile, then you deploy it again. So if we check the value that this variable is holding, is now what, is now 23. So this is how we declare state variable. Let's talk about a local variable. So a local variable, if you want to store a local variable is just like a variable that we store it within the function. Let's say, for example, if you write a function that gets a number, let's say a function, so you set a number rather. So let's say set number is a function to set a number. So then we say uint underscore my uint. Then let's say public. Then we now have my number is equals to underscores my number. Yeah. So having done this is our function, right? So our local variable is this my uint is a local variable. You get, so this is how to declare a local variable as my uint, and this is also a local variable. So what local variable does, it lives within the function. You get, it lives within the function, and it's not always on blockchain. It's within, because this is this variable. Now let's see for example, let's just deploy this again. Say I've compiled and I try to deploy and I run this. You see, you will not see that variable here, which is this guy. You will not see it visible like this, that you can see the value. You know, see, because why? Because the variable lives within, it's used as a parameter here, it's used as an argument here within the function. So that's the difference between a state variable and a local variable. A local variable it lives within the blockchain, it live in the blockchain and is a separate entity. But what a local variable is always within the function. So that's how to declare a local variable, and this is how to declare a state variable. Now let's look at a global variable. What do we have a global variable? Global variable is just like a variable that stores what is currently going on in the blockchain. So for example, if I come here and I say address, public, then owner, then I come here, then I use constructor. So constructor, I say public. Then we have this. So we can say owner is equals to message the sender. We'll talk about constructor too in a subsequent video. So what this is it now. And here within this we declare our global variable. Declare this as our global. This is the variable name. So we are declaring this as a this is what we call a global variable. Well, this what this one is doing is that it's setting this value, the value of this owner, value of this variable to the owner of that address. So this message you're sender now is one of the types of global variable we have. We have many of them. We have message of value, we have block dot timestamp, block dot number, and the likes. Yeah, which we'll be talking more about it too as well. So this is how to use a global variable. So if I remove this and I deploy again, so and we come here. So if I click on this, we're gonna be having this address as our default value. Why? Because we have set it to be a global variable. So we can use this owner anywhere. That's why we call it a global variable. So you can use it anywhere. You get. So that's what we mean by variable in solidity. Yeah, let's quickly talk about data types too. And in our next video, we'll be talking about other data structure. So what is data type? Data type is just the value you want to be storing. For example, this guy we have here, you int public, my name equals to my number other is equals to 23. So using a data type in a solidity, you are telling this variable what to store. So with this, you have defined this variable. So this variable now can only store a number, cannot store more than a number. For example, if I put any other thing here, it's not going to store it. You see, it's going to give us, it's going to warn us that guy, you are not doing the right thing because we are not storing the variable, the data type we define for it. The data type we define for it is a number. So, or the only thing that you can accept is just a number. You get so, and also this is called this is an integer. We call it an integer. So we have two types of integer in Solidity. We have you signed integer and signed integer. You get so unsigned integer is the one that we have a uint, while signed integer is the one that we declare this way. So what does unsigned integer does? Unsigned integer is only you can only store a number with a positive number. That's the only thing you can store. Why an integer and an int which is integer can store both positive and negative number. So those are the two different between both of them. The one stores only positive while the other one stores both positive and negative. For example, if I could add -239 at this now, it is going to give me an error. It's going to throw us an error because we are not storing the correct value to this variable. To get, we're not storing the correct value to the variable. So, but if I just remove it like this, you don't have any error anymore. So yeah, because I have something here. So you don't have any error anymore because we are storing the correct value now. But here You can store both positive. Because as you can see, this even as we put this as positive, you can still store it. If I put what is it called? If I put minus, it will still store it because it's allowed both positive and negative number. So this is the first what is it called? And also this guy has what is it called? In Solidity, this guy it has like the amount of number, the amount of range of number you can store, the total number amount you can store, as in the total amount of numbers you can store is 256, 255 rather, while the maximum is 200. So anything beyond, if you're storing more than 265, you have to add some other stuff which we will explain. So here now we now have types of them. We have uint 8, we have u. So if you're using uint 8, definitely the only storing a range between 1 to 8. So if your character is more than that, it will not store it, it will not accept the number you get. It will not accept the number you get. So that's unit 8. We also have more than them. There are more than we have unit 16, unit 32, so up to 256. So 256 is the last what is it called you can store. The last number you can store. You get. So that's that. So also I likewise int as well, the same thing 256. So this is integer data type for integer. So we also have another data type called string. So what string does, it stores an alphanumeric number. Sorry, alphanumeric, that is both letters and numbers. So for example, if it is struct public my string, so is equals to, so you can say hello world. So this is going to store this value. I'm going to store this value. So yeah, suppose I'm having, let's put this 23. So if we if we deploy this and we come here, so we're gonna be having my number 23, my string, hello world. Look at the values. There is stores, and this stores the negative value because it's an int. So an owner stores this global variable. So that's this is another one. So another data type we have is what we call address. This address. So this is telling us that you're only storing an address account. So you cannot store more than that. You cannot store more than that. If you want to use another one, it's not going to work. If you want to store any value here, yeah, because we have stored the value here already as a global variable. That's why we don't have to add any 0x blah 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 there again. Okay. So we also have another one called boolean. This another data type called boolean. So boolean only stores two value. So if you say boolean is admin, for example. So let's say it can be true or false. Okay, so it can be true or false. So we use true. You're gonna have a value for true. Yeah, we're gonna have a value for true. We remove this and deploy again. So if for example we have this, then let's click on this. So the value is what? It's true. Value is true. So this is because of the data type that is here. That's why we're having this guy here. True. So another data type we have, which we'll be talking about, is what we call mapping, and we'll talk about it more when we are writing the real smart contract. So this is how mapping work. So what mapping does is to store a value. So in the mapping we only have two things. We have the key and the value itself. So we have the key and the value itself. So this is the variable. So then this is our data types. So what the data type does is it keeps track of any address with a number that the address is positioned. For example, you want to deposit something on this inside a smart contract. So this mapping here we track any users that any account that deposits fund in the contract, and the amount the person deposits. So it will use to keep track of the balance that inside the number, inside the account of that person. Okay, so it's going to track the person's account, then the amount of the person want to put inside the smart contract, then the this is then another variable that is doing this tracking. So this will be the tracker which you can use in any of the logic you are writing. Okay, so this is what's it called, mapping, which we'll be using most when we are writing a smart contract. Yeah, so this is just about the we've talked about the variable and we talked about the data type. So and as well we talk about mapping, which is yes, among the data type. So in our next video we're going to be talking about other data structure like what's it called, struct. We talk about other data structures too. All right, yeah, please so let's meet in the next video. Thank you.